my brutal eradicator.
Welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib open mic. We're going to talk about VXP Battleground, which appears to be a little bit of a mess unless they plan to run this again. And then we're going to get into, if anybody'd like to join the show, not tell me why you coin or why you don't coin, but what makes you want to coin. What do you think is appropriate to coin in the game? I'm just bringing this up because it seems that we're getting asked by Kickside to coin some things that I don't think historically a lot of players like to coin, at least not a significant population of the game. So feel free to join. The link's on the right-hand side. But we're going to start with VXP Battleground, and I'm going to introduce everybody from right to left on the YouTube screen. Magic Mike. Okay. Watchman.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Lord.
Hey, how's it going? Hello, hello.
Father George.
I will coin midget strippers on my warehouses.
Yeah,
everybody.
Get them dancing.
There we go. Dr. Death.
Hello.
And this is Hefe. And we have a late entry of Mr. Snoopy.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you.
Cool. Alrighty. Let's start with VXP Battleground. This is it's a new construct in the game. I think you can still pretty much do what you were doing last time, but they've added an event part to this, which I'm not sure. I think people are participating in it. The big problems with it is you need to have legendary ranked fully built ships pretty much in order to complete the cycle for the highest level, which I'm not really sure that makes a lot of sense. The second part of it is that you can only hold 5 of each tokens. So if you are planning to stockpile some Shrike tokens, you can only hold 5, which is only enough to rank half of a ship, or one ship halfway. I don't know. Let's. What does everybody think so far about the VXP Battleground event?
Well, I thought about going and getting my tinfoil and building another tinfoil hat, putting it on for tonight's show.
Can't hear.
But looking at this event, I don't think it's needed.
Oh, it's not needed at all. It's if you want to do it and get some extra things. You can just go about your old merry way and just hit the normal 98 high siege target for your normal VXP.
No. The event itself is screwing the player base, because if you look at it, they've blocked out so many fleets that can't.
Well, no. Let me correct that. One thing that they have done that's odd is that the generic fleets are skirmish, which is unusual for us being in the siege cycle. But if you go to the relay tower, you can put anything in there.
Oh, okay.
It's only the ones that are part of the event, and that's part of the confusion the way they set it up, because there's 100s and 102s, and there's 2 sets of them, and they do different things. The ones next to the relay tower are open for any class. They do not count towards the activity points associated with this event. But they do, upon completion, they do provide 3 days or 3 Defender VXP tokens.
Are they paying out the same or more VXP than what they were last time?
The what?
Are the targets, the ones by the relay tower, paying out for the ships the same?
I haven't hit one because last time they were skirmish. They were siege. They're skirmish now, which I'm saying that's the odd part associated with them. But next to the SSRBs, there's 3 targets. There's a 98, a 100, and a 102, and those count towards the event part of this, creating activity points that you can then claim in the store. The only one that is meant for siege is the 98 target. I do find it odd that there's 5 high-level targets and only one of them is related to this current siege cycle. I do find that a little bit odd, and those ones are both class restricted and tier restricted. So you can only put tier 7 skirmish or tier 7 siege in those targets. So I just wanted to clear that up because you were headed down a path.
Confused. I didn't realize that there was even shit around the relay towers, but thanks for pointing that out. So thanks for pointing that out. I was just focused on the event just because I wasn't worried about ranking yet. I have one run to do, but I'll do it before the things are gone. But I didn't even think to look around the towers. Thank you.
So if we've got anybody that's watching, if you've hit one of the 100s that's by the relay tower, and you let us know what the VXP is it's paying out. Is it same or more, or did Kickside lower it to try and entice people to get tokens?
Say that one more time.
Okay, I'm asking if we got someone in the audience that's watching that's hit one of those 100s, if they can let us know what the VXP it was dropping was. You know, the one that's by the relay tower. You know, say they go in with their unskulled fleet and they're after just plain VXP, you know, a suicide run, or go in and hit one of those little ships, you know, that they park. Well, this is all ships now, ain't it? Because it's skirmish.
Well, I don't think a lot of people would have experience with that because the last time we've seen these skirmish targets was for the bat rays and the razor tails.
Well, no, what I'm wanting the comparison of, because if you're going up against ships, chances are that they're just going to melt E-Rads because that's not what they're meant to fight. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, so we're just say they went in, they got their one thud cannon on their ship, they sent it in, it died. It was the VXP they got for that equal to or greater than what they were getting last VXP weekend when they suicided a ship. Do you see where I'm going?
Well, yeah, I am, but there's a workaround. There's a workaround. There's a better way in order to achieve basically what you I think it's pretty much exactly the same as you did last VXP weekend. That is to hit the 98s near the SSRBs and kill the ships. If you kill one ship, you've maxed out on your offensive or damage doing VXP. And you're going to get 2,200 as a base or 6,600, around 6,600 if you have a triple salty, just for the damage done, not the damage that you have taken, which is really similar to what I had. That's per ship. Really similar to what I had last time. It's a little bit difficult to tease out the damage you've taken versus the damage you put out. But I think that number is about right as far as what you max out at.
Okay, that does.
And there's no reason to do more than one ship if you are, because you're going to max out at that point. All you need to do is retreat, go back in, and hit another ship, but you got to wait the 10 minutes to let it time out.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. So, George, I know you got limited time. Do you have any thoughts on VXP Battleground?
I haven't had a chance to actually do it. I am glad that because when they were discussing it, you know, it was the whole idea was to kind of have like just the overlay of an event, which is what it seems to have been. I mean, there's options for I think just about everybody if you want to just do VXP, and then if you want the option, you can participate in the event. I like this much better than last month's event where it was an event and you had to. I mean, you were in it. So I don't know. I'm glad that they stuck with it. I haven't tried the targets yet. I've gotten a couple of reports from different people because people were confused as to what target to hit what. There wasn't good, messaging about that. I think most people have kind of.
I'm burning pretty much almost identical damage in the targets, except for the 98. The two targets that I'm running with, razor tails and bat rays. I'm taking identical damage in the targets to what I was taking in raid. The problem is it's not halftime.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was going to say. I haven't done it, but I watched the wife. She used her bat rays to hit a 102 because she wants to pick up a few of the tokens for the Hydras because she's still got a couple of ships that she needs to finish ranking. So she went in there and as it's not half repair, but she's put it on long repair. She's sod it. You know what I mean? She come back and she only got hit 3 targets anyway. And that'll do her.
Well, I mean, is it any different from last month?
No, not
XP
really.
from last month. So
if you hit the 98 now.
All right, so and that's what I'm saying is I'm just glad that they kind of kept it to, it's going to be VXP weekend one way or another, and if you want to participate, you can participate in the event too.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, the event is almost separate thing than VXP weekend. It's just the weird ratio of skirmish to siege targets that I found odd. That now we have 4 out of 5 are skirmish, which is odd, and it does restrict what's out there. But I've been hitting. I've been going with my approach. I started during the pre-show, and probably in about 20 minutes or so, I'll tell you how many points or show you how many points I got from not going back to repair, just hitting these targets the way I described, or hitting one ship at a time, and then letting it time out, retreat. It does take some time, but I think it's going to be fairly significant amount of VXP. So it's not, the sky is not falling, just that the Battleground event part of this is a little bit weird.
It makes it a little bit more complicated. Yeah. Has anyone tried Conquerors?
No, I didn't even.
Conquerors, you can only hit the ones by the relay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would imagine.
So the only thing that's come by the relay is a level 8, isn't it? I think.
The relay,
the ones by the relay is a 100 and a 50. The 100 is going to disappear. I think it's a little bit longer than normal, but it's going to disappear. It's above the screen. Let me go check.
Yeah, let's have a look.
like
I've
Sunday
not
morning
seen
or
any
something.
100s.
Sunday 9 a.m.
I think it
Kickside,
was
the
extended.
100 will disappear.
Right,
It was
I've not
extended
seen.
by like 12 hours or something.
I haven't
normally
seen any 100s by the relays yet.
Well, they're there. I just saw one.
Oh, right, okay. No, I just haven't. So that was why I
Yeah,
only seen the 80s event. Yeah.
It could be because for people that want tokens to rank up their defenders, it's a much better solution than being part of the event, because the ones in the event are really expensive for what you get. They're way overpriced, ridiculously overpriced relative to being able to hit one of these and get 3 of the defender tokens. It's night and day, so they're probably in high demand. So,
but I would like to, if
go ahead.
anybody does it, please post on one of the pages so we know what kind of crews you got out of the crew chest. If anybody decides to go that route.
Oh my god! If anybody does, I'm gonna please give me your address so I come over with that 2x4.
I'm expecting the popular one to be irradiated cutthroats. I really am.
Well, the price
That might
it's
be really interesting though.
Well, you have to hit like 10 sets in order to get one box with a random drop, and you could get something, death from above.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another one that's way, way, way overpriced.
If it was like 5K, it would be a deal.
Well, even if they had it at this price, I might, because we got some blitzers that have coined out. You know what you've seen.
Oh yeah, there's somebody with almost 1 billion
points. If they had it at this price and you could choose the crew you wanted.
Yeah, for 200,000.
They'd catch a little bit more fish, but a random, we hate random.
Yeah, if you could pick the crew you wanted or guaranteed, like, okay, maybe it might be a grease monkey, a demo crew, or something else, and you get one of those 3 for 200,000, that'd be a deal. Otherwise, it should only be like 5,000. Because you can just roll crews in your haul and use no points and just get VXP tokens.
Right, but what I'm saying is, I hate the chore of rolling crews, and I'm a coiner.
Well, yeah, I know.
So if I knew that I had because even if you go in the store and try and buy a legendary crew, your chances of actually getting what you want are slim. Even if you spend that 30 gold, okay. So if I looked at this event, okay, and there is the blitz option, you know what I'm saying, and I see, okay, if I spend 100,000, 200,000 points, I can buy myself that demo squad. I can buy myself that grease monkey. I would have chased it. I'm sorry. I would have chased it just so that I wouldn't have to sit there and spend 2 freaking hours rolling through crews to get what I want. Because there's already too many chores in the game as it is.
Yeah, but even if you would do 10 sets in order to pick one.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do 10 sets. I'd just blitz it.
Okay, how much is it to blitz it? I mean, this is like, it's 30 gold to blitz it?
No.
I think it's a lot more than that, isn't it?
No, wait a second. 15. No, it was 150 gold to blitz times 15.
Okay, that would give you 75,000.
So it's 150 gold to pick a crew. Is that what you're saying?
How about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that strategy, but hey, man, if that's what you like, go for it, bud. I'll spend 2 hours rolling crews and try my luck, and then next day I'll go spend another 2 hours.
Yeah, I was rendering something out earlier, and I rolled for crews a few times, and I got lucky. Well, I was actually going for demo crews, but I ended up with 3 more grease monkeys, which is ironic. So I didn't want grease monkeys. I'm not going to turn them down, obviously, but I was after the demo squads, because I'm down to my last 4.
That's where I'm sitting at. I'm low on demos, and so I would have chased. I would have chased to get demos.
But I mean, you can just use your bat rays in the SSRBs and just, for free repair, can't you? You just, that's the sensible way to do it.
But see, that's the point. Okay, it's always, I want something to give me a break from chores. You understand what I'm saying? I'm tired of every day coming on here and spending 2 or 3 hours rolling crews and hitting SSRBs and doing FM.
That's very understandable. It's understandable.
And titanium. It's fucking boring. You know what I mean? So if I get something that I can knock a chore off that list, I'm gonna fucking chase it.
But if it's okay, so you would spend $15 for a chore for a crew?
For a crew that he wanted, he could pick.
I don't see the logic in that, because if you're using the crew to save your repair and save your time, but you're spending a lot of money to get it, it's kind of self-defeating.
Yeah, you might. I don't know that you would get $15 of benefit out of that.
I don't know that I would spend that extreme amount. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying though, you got to look. There's people already on the leaderboard that's pushing 1 million points. You know what I'm saying? They can only hold 5 tokens. What are they spending? What are they spending the rest of those points on?
It's 5 of this and 5 of that and 5 of that and 5 of that. That shit adds up.
No, because there ain't no fucking way I'd be buying 5 tokens of a ship that I
have
no intention of ever
200,000 instead of 5 tokens. You'd spend it on maybe a chance at 1 crew. Hell no.
No, I'll take the 5 tokens. If I blitzed out and was sitting on, if I blitzed out and I was sitting on 1 million points, you take all the Shrike tokens. If you get your Eradicated Fleet scold, right? Yeah. But if you're someone spending that kind of money in the game, you don't have a lot to scold. I mean, my Eradicators were scold before the event.
Oh yeah, mine too.
I didn't have to worry about. I have nothing to scold this event.
Hey, I don't understand why he did it, but he did it.
Okay, let's because we wanted to make VXP Battleground just part of it. Snoopy or Magic Mike, do you have anything you want to say on VXP weekend?
Well, I'm doing the VXP. I'm not ranking anything because I've got nothing to rank. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing the top tier targets to get points, to get the tokens for my sharks if I ever get around to building them. So I need like 200k altogether. I'm about 150 odd k, I think.
But I think we talked about on Discord. You can only hold 5 of them if you don't have them built.
That's right. Yeah, so 200k, and that's it. And that's your top tokens all got.
Okay.
Yeah. You gonna grab the small ones too?
I'll probably grab the small ones if I'm still doing it, but I'm just.
They're what, 5,000 a piece or something like that?
I can't remember.
Someone said they took the back rate tokens. It only got their fleet up to 66%. You might need.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Well, you should hit the damn targets, the 100s, because that's what they're made for.
Yeah.
Then you throw a silver salty on it, and then whatever's left over, you buy 1 token and finish it off. I mean, she had the right idea. She just took the wrong approach.
Yeah, that's what I brought up earlier. That the both the hold limits and the redeem limits are not really what I think a lot of players would have expected out of an event like this, because you can only claim enough to halfway rank whatever you need ranked. That not including the flagships. The flagships, you don't even get that, because it requires 125K to rank each one of them, each one of the flags. But you can only claim 50K, so you're not even halfway there with those.
You get 6,000 per or it's 5,000 VXP per small, and you can get 5 of those too. So that'd be another 25,000.
I think the others are only 2,000. To be fair.
Oh,
yeah, they are 2,000. So it'd be 10,000. So
okay,
you'd have what?
That sucks. That's only half.
You'd have 60,000. Yeah, it does suck. But, for me, like in my situation, I'm just going to throw them in storage. And then if I build it, at least I got like, halfway rank. And then I can use it and then I can work from there. It's better than starting out the gate with 0 rank. That's just my approach. You got to
be careful if you're going to have more than one, because you're going to end up with stacking issues.
I'll worry about that shit if I get down that line. But I'm just going to have the shit ready just in case I want to use it later.
Yeah, and the smaller ones they're more expensive, or there's less value involved with those ones. They're more expensive to claim for the amount of VXP. You're spending more points per VXP with the smaller ones as well. So I just don't know why unless there's going to be another VXP event before the next raid. I don't understand why they're doing it this way, that only allowing you to get basically to half rank. That part I don't completely understand. So, and I'm not sure if Mike's still around, but
I don't know if you're hearing me or not.
No, we can hear you now. I couldn't hear you earlier. What has your experience been with the?
Well, I'm just trying to get my brutal done, and I'm using the method that you described earlier, and just going in and killing that one ship and sitting out on the water waiting. And I think a couple more hits, it'll be done. So I haven't spent any. I did try to kill the 98. Didn't have good luck, so I had to use that 12-hour token.
Okay.
But otherwise, I haven't spent anything on the event itself, and I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah, it is an unfamiliar event to a lot of people, and I was hoping that's what we'd do at the beginning, is sort of explain that the event part of this is sort of an add-on to what we've seen before.
I didn't fully realize that at the very beginning, but I soon did catch on.
Yeah.
It's like another mini raid or another raid type event for points and whatnot. Yeah.
And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. You can still get your VXP.
Yep.
So it's not.
I don't see
as awful and
doom and
yeah, it's not as awful and doom and gloom as some people are making it out to be. Either that, or you had a big problem with last VXP weekend, the second one they did in the cycle. Yep. So if we're done talking about VXP Battleground for a little while, does part of the show, like as I introduced, I think that, and a lot of things that we've been, with the last raid cycle, we were left with what I calculated, that you had to spend $100 or about 1,000 coins, or close to 1,000 coins, in order to merely prepare your ships to participate in the raid, for what the top levels were tuned for, the top level targets. Everybody knows that you could do things with hydras and whatnot, and hit lower targets. And it doesn't feel to me like something that a lot of the player base likes, or because it feels like you're being forced into doing something. And then Kick says, like, what the way that they're sort of playing with us is like it feels like they're trying to figure out what we will coin and what we won't coin. And I posted a link. We already have people on the panel, but if other people want to come on and say, what they do coin, and minimize what you won't coin, because otherwise we don't have, I'm not going to do a 4-hour show. Because if we got into what people don't want to coin, that would be a much longer show. But mostly what you're willing to coin, but you can get into what you don't want to coin, or just the general idea behind it. But yeah, the link is out there in case you guys would like to join in, and whoever, we've already heard that Dr. Death, I don't know, but it sounded like he's willing to spend 150 no, was it 150 gold? Yeah, 150 gold for a crew. So I'm not sure if that's it's I just want to get across that different people have different ideas on what they're willing to coin, and I'm just trying to get as many people on here to try and explain what they feel is appropriate for them to coin. So whoever wants to start, feel free to go.
Okay, I'll start. In the past, Kickstarter have had offers where they've offered loads of build tokens for the first fleet, and so quite often that meant that I could get my raid fleet done for the very first raid, a complete fleet built. And I used to like that because then, like say in this instance, the Shrikes of the second, you win in the second raid, and you could just completely start them, knowing that the Eradicators are built. But because of past events, I didn't do that because I knew I would have to refit my Eradicators again, and so I didn't bother this time. But normally, yeah, I've done that a few times. This time I didn't, because I am still refitting my Eradicators. So they should be done for fully built and refitted for the second raid. But I say normally I would do that, and I've probably done it about 5 or 6 times. Last year, just to what would it? Sorry, it would have been about 4 times last year, like in every single one. Every single raid, a new raid set. The first month, but this year, nah, because of the way they asked us to do too many refits afterwards. So yeah, that's me. I mean, I like to try and argue against like value for money and just having your fleet done, and because then when you go in, you do take less damage, so it can add up in the long run that you spend less during the raid because you're taking less damage with a full fleet.
Okay,
but it's not like it used to be.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Let me run through a couple of things that are in YouTube chats because these people aren't getting on. Steve says PvP repair is the thing I coined the most, which, yeah, I think that was highly expected. And then Lady Cat, she won't coin the FM. She will coin a TLC repair or a small amount in the raids. Will speed up builds, but not coin builds. And more PvE than PvE as far as a player. BPM IP. If I pay for the ships, I don't want to pay for the repairs. If I slow build the ships, I don't mind paying for repairs. I never mind paying for PvP repairs.
Yeah, that's it. I don't mind PvP. Right, to me, that's a fun part of the game. So if I'm out hitting, yeah, I'll pay for PvP repairs. But for most PvE, apart from raids, I try and do for free. So the weekly FMs and any other thing, you'll try and do it for free, and stick them on long repair. And then while things are repairing, you go out and play a bit of PvP.
Yeah. Hey, Northman, it's been a while.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Oh, pretty good.
Hello.
Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
No problem. Did I get you to join? It's been a couple of months. Did I get you to join with the topic?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last event I did was what I have always done. I had the fleet partial build with all the special and weapons and maybe one armor on. I went into 102 and whatnot, and I died, and I stopped. So this event, I got 100k points, so I didn't get any prize at all. I just didn't bother with it.
And you didn't bother with it because
the first cycle of each event with a partial built fleet, you actually been able to do something, and I can coin. That's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But when I can't even finish one target in a set because I died with a partial fleet, because it's the same every event. The first cycle I got partial build with a weapon and special and maybe a 1 or 2 armor on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was a poor build and whatnot. That's okay, but
I chose to basically finish 4 ships and leave the flag as a blank. And I actually didn't do the first 2 days of the raid because I didn't have enough armors, and I saw how people were doing things. So I actually waited and continued putting my armors on. And I was able to get both the targets down with 4 eradicators and the brutal sitting in the corner, down to 25 to 40 minutes a target.
Yeah, I think me and you, they done it virtually the same way. We just waited until we put the last bits of armor we needed, and and stuck an unfinished brutal in the corner. And now it's the brutal at the moment that I'm finishing the refit on, because I'm going to finish that first now. And then do the rest of those refits that I need on the rest of the fleet,
Mm-hmm. So, but Northman, as far as getting back to what you were saying, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just trying to throw it out there for people as far as, partial builds of 5 didn't work on that one. So,
Northman, did you consider using the Hydras in the 60s and maybe even the 80s, depending on the build?
I'm playing this game from day one, and I've always been doing the event. So if I have to coin 200, 300 coins, I don't mind. At least I can do something. But this time around, it was just too stupid. So I just stopped the first night.
Okay, mate.
I mean,
because it was about 1,000 coins, I think, to get what they tuned it for, but you didn't have to go to all the way to what they tuned it for. But yeah, that's the part. That's the reason we're doing the show. Is I just felt that was such a large departure from what we're used to in the game, that if you were smart, use your tokens correctly and whatnot, you could get a good build together. If because remember, we got early access to the Eradicator. It wasn't, we weren't even supposed to be able to do it till now. So it's, it just felt odd. I didn't like it at all as far as that approach that they used with us.
Well, I want to give my perspective on it, because y'all know I'll chase the monkey to get rid of a chore, and I'll also spend when I'm having fun. If I'm hitting bases, whatever, I'm having fun, I'm spending money. But when I feel forced, and almost every start of a raid series, I go with a full fleet. I'll spend the coin to do it. This raid, I didn't. I felt forced this time. They didn't offer no token deals, to help us out. There were no TLCs that I could have thrown some coin at to, help out. There was no break. It was like, you need to coin the fleet or you're gonna suck. And I didn't do it because I felt forced. And that right there is where my cutoff line is. If I think Kix is trying to squeeze me, I won't spend a dime. But if it's something I just want to do, if it's something for fun, I'll spend.
Got one of my guys timing out. He said like 15 minutes yet. He said, if I can drink 2 beers in that time. It's like, I said, oh Christ. I said, look, 1 beer and a whiskey chaser. I think, man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a leader. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
So it's sort of a consistent trend, and I'll have Snoopy go next. Is that players, when they spend their coins, they want to feel like they're spending them either in a wise way to do better in the future, or some of them just, I can't be asked to do certain things, so I'm going to coin for that. And then there's also the competitive nature of PvP that also drives people to coin, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I think the game is it's so fucked up after Wrong Thinker took over. It's just a disgrace. And he did the same in War Commander. I was playing that game too. I was as high level as I am here in Battle Pirate. He came in he fucked the game up so badly, and is doing just the same here in Battle Pirates. That's a fact. He's the worst thing that could happen to Battle Pirate. Wrong thinker.
Yeah, I don't know much about the guy, so I can't comment on this topic.
It does what it says on the label. Yeah.
All the same things he's doing and saying here in Battle Pirate. He said the same thing in War Commander, and that game's just dead.
I'll tell you what, Battle Pirates is the only one of their games I've ever touched, and after playing Battle Pirates, it's not enamored me to want to try any of the other games anyway, to be honest with you. Yeah,
this one's a lot of work. Which is sad. It has turned more into a job than a game these days.
But I'm quite glad that I really don't need anything this VXP weekend, you know. And there's nothing there that's like a must-have for me, you know. So
well, I've been watching TV. I did 2 sets just so I could see what they were like. But you know, there's nothing in there I really want to chase. So I've been watching TV. I'm not going to
rank, so I'm good.
Hey
yeah,
Ben, how are you doing?
Good, and you?
Oh, pretty good. Your volume's extremely low. Try to talk again.
Hello.
No. There's something. You joined too late. What? There we go.
Yeah.
You took the mic out of your ass, right? That's what it sounded like. So you know, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just saying hi. Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, this VXP weekend joke.
I don't know. Have you been listening to earlier in the show?
No, I just got home.
Okay, yeah. We provided some sort of solutions to it. It's because it's basically the it's a lot of it. If you cut through the event part of it, is very similar to what we saw last VXP weekend. You just need to cut through all the bullshit associated with the event, and you'll be much happier. Especially if you want to. What are you trying to rank up your brutal?
Yeah, ERADs.
Yeah. It's the same approach that I talked about last time. You know, hit one ship with one ship, and then get out. Yeah, probably in a couple minutes I'll be able to show without repairing what I'm able to get on my brutal.
And that's
with one swivel salty.
That's hitting the 100s at the relay towers, yeah?
No, the 98s.
Oh,
the
the
98s at the
okay.
at the SSRBs.
Okay.
And just taking out the one ship and then timing out, and then going back in and taking out the other one with the silver salty on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but Ben, we were, we sort of progressed into the part of the show dealing with what do you coin? Not so much as what you don't coin, but what do you coin in the game? Because I feel like they've pushed us into some places that isn't, lined up with what most of the players feel comfortable with. Because it looked like we needed to spend about 1,000 gold in order to get the fleet that was required for the last raid, up and above normal build time, slow build time, and the FM generic tokens. But that's why we're here. That's why I brought this about as far as having this discussion. And I'm just, you coined some things. It's your idea of what you feel comfortable coining and what you feel like you shouldn't have to coin in a game like this.
I used to coin fleet builds, and then I would coin repairs, if I was hitting bases or during raids.
Okay.
But now I've stopped coining.
And what made that? What made that change? Was it part of the game or part of your life?
It was the game. It's the value of it is gone.
And what did you consider value before?
Well, like the tier 9 sets now. If I could do them for 4 to 5 coins a set, that was value to me. If it cost me, in the tier 8, the 80s, 1 to 2 coin or 2 to 3 coins, that was value. Now it's not.
Okay, yeah, and I think that's sort of part of what your build was, though, right? Because it's like I was able, I was able to hit each one of those for like between 20 and 45 minutes with the demo crew on. I'm not including
not first day you couldn't.
Well, yeah. I skipped over the first 2 days because I didn't feel I was ready. So I didn't feel like my ships were ready. So yeah, I guess I did miss that part of it. So
that's okay. One other thing I'd like to ask, and I think everyone's going to say the same thing, but did any single player here have a full fleet of eradicators built for the last raid?
Nope.
No.
I had 5 off just partials.
Yes. Same.
Yeah. So no one had a fully built fleet for the last raid, which
No.
shows that none of us coined our fleets. Which I'm quite happy with that. So because basically normally I possibly would have done myself, and I took that decision not to buy the tokens and this time, and just fuck it. I mean, let's just do it in real time. Build 4 and stick the brutal in the corner, and and like FA did, I started to get a couple of armors on the last 2 eradicators before I went into raid. So I only started it with about a day and a half left of the raid, and I got everything that I needed once I had those 4 and a brutal. But as I said, so like none of us here had, and we've all have spent a lot of money in the past in this game, but none of us did this time. And I think that kind of shows us where things are going. People are getting fed up with it,
Yeah, because that's not something we've been normally asked to spend on. You could either have patience or skill or luck in order to do the raids efficiently, but you weren't asked to, build blindly and pay for it, because we didn't get any information on how we were supposed to build our ships besides that little, this turret does this and this turret does that. Until actually a day into the raid, they're like, "Oh, here's our tips and tricks on how to build ships." But you were expected to spend $100 blindly, and that was also part of it. Was the fact that I think that the lack of information that was provided, didn't help people feel like, I'm gonna coin this. I want this because this is gonna work. Because it was just a guess. I threw out guesses, George threw out guesses, people threw out guesses of what would work, and some did work well and some didn't work as well. So it was a little bit of an ask, I think, from their side, considering the amount of information and the fact that they're just asking you to get something that you can then spend more coins on. That part was baffling to me.
Yeah, and then refit later.
Yeah, and I'm still pissed about, on the Wednesday show, I talked about a build that I was going to go with my brutal and how it was all going to work. Some point after the show, those specials no longer stack.
Oh, wow.
I have a picture of them all stacked together the way that they're supposed to work, but they no longer stack at this point. So that's
not good.
Yeah.
That ain't cool.
The lower countermount 2 no longer stacks with Hyper 30.
There you go. So, yeah, because if you was ever going to build an auto fleet, the lower cannon mount was going to be the one to go with.
I was going to use it for a driving thing because with the Hyper 30, I was actually able to get the brutal to be slightly faster than the rest of my ships, and I was going to take advantage of that 17 left range that it had for almost all of them, except for I forget, this is the Fire Belcher. I forget the name of the real short range one, and use the brutal as a tank and have the other ones coming behind, but they would stop if I aimed at the target 17 spaces behind it, so I shouldn't be involved with that much splash.
That's a good idea.
But yeah, that's no longer no longer an option, so we probably don't need to talk about it that much.
Oh, well.
So,
no, I mean, I think George was talking about it on Wednesday, wasn't he? And he was saying about using the Siege 4 or whatever, because I've still got the HRV on.
well,
Yeah, but that's
the one,
completely different topic. But yeah,
I mean,
well, because I was recommending the Siege from the beginning, and he was recommending autoloader, and then he realized it didn't work, and that's why I'm saying some builds work better than others, because I saw the way they multiplied, and there was no reason to go with autoloader over siege targeting.
Yeah.
It's like now there's no reward for skill like there used to be also.
It's not as clear. It's not as clear because before, if you had a good build and you drove well, you were instant repair or no damage. Now you're still taking a decent amount of damage for having the right build and driving well, and it's a fuzzier line. And especially, like it seemed like the first 2 days of this last raid, you still might be taking hours of damage if you drove well and you had the right build.
Also this is the first cycle, so what the fuck is going to happen to the next one?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because people also blitz the crap out of it. So I mean, it's like
that's what hurts. It's where they get false numbers. But I mean, to each their own. That's their money, and that's fine. But it does bring up false numbers because they're not realizing that the people that are actually taking the slow time and doing the builds that aren't agreeing with this are, they're just going to take that longer road because they just don't feel value where their money is, and it's not worth it to them.
Exactly, and every raid that I've done in the past year now, I've felt the need to use a Grease Monkey crew to keep the cost down to what I would call a reasonable level. And I never had to do that before the start of 2017. Sorry, 2018. We're in 2019 now, aren't we? Yeah, I mean, so every raid last year I used Grease Monkey crews, and I will continue to do it again this year, because I still think that the repair times of damage is still unreasonable, for the most part. I mean, because we know we're going to get escalation again in the next one. So even though I'm going to refit the fleet, and it might do better, I mean, I'll try it first of all. I normally send it out first without the Grease Monkey crew on and see what kind of damage I'm taking, and then slap it on and do the repair, and if I think it needs to go on there. But as I've got myself personally, I'm quite lucky. I've got quite a few of them. I can do that, But it's something I recommend if you can get Grease Monkey crews, go out there and save yourself, half cost. But you shouldn't have to, when it's already meant to be half repair.
What amazes me the most is what kind of an idiot or idiots are like getting millions of points. Even if we had $1 million, I would not spend money on this shit. And even you can see players having so much points. What the fuck's the matter with them? Yeah,
there are some. I mean, you think, Christ Almighty, are they prepping for the entire alliance they're in? It's like, I can understand. The only time I've got more points than I've needed is when I've had a few spare hours, or a day at the end of it, and I thought, yeah, okay, I'm going to go and help some of the lowers now, and prep up for them, and really, if there's anything left, I'll grab it. It's probably tokens I'm never going to use and things like that, but I'll see if I can spend some of them points. But normally, I'll just get what I need, Yeah. I'm not after glory on the leaderboard or anything for like a few hours,
Who the fuck can see some glory in getting the top spot and points?
That's it, yeah. Because I mean that's all wiped out again, isn't it? After as soon as they close it down into raid,
Yeah, it's astonishing me that is possible. Before we went, I got all stuff I needed the first night, and many times I just coined a new fleet and went out hitting. I had no meaning in getting 10 times or 20 times more point I needed.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, if many times when the raid starts, within the first like 4 or 5 hours, I'd got what I needed. But this time I didn't, because I didn't have the fleet built. You know, I didn't have the last couple of bits of armor that I needed. I had 2 ships. I still needed 1 more piece of armor dropping on, and so I didn't start until sort of Saturday night, Sunday morning. You know, but then I got what I needed. You know, it didn't take long to get it. So a few hours and it was done. Everything that I wanted. But I was willing to wait. You know, I wasn't in a hurry this time, because it's not all about being the first one past the post. It's just about getting what you need, isn't it? You know, that's a sensible.
Oh yeah.
Plan,
There's no rush, man. Unless you're short on time and you got something else going on in your life, then by all means, blitz it an hour, be done with it, and then go spend the next 3 or 4 days and do whatever you got to do.
Well, that's shit. I mean, I actually did that in reverse this time. I just kept my fleets building, and then you know, and then did the work in the first couple of days, and then in the last day I could get on and do a bit of raid on the Sunday, sort of thing, you know. So it works out. Okay.
Yeah, I used the $50, but that was on World of Warship. I bought myself a new ship there, and I had a lot of fun.
And that's understandable. I mean, you lose interest, you find interest in other things, just things aren't going right. You're like, I just need to get in a different mindset for a while, and I'm gonna just spend some money on this one. It's not that I wanted to, it's just I don't agree with what's going on over here right now.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the refactor as well. So, you know, it's like it's another thing that's making me resistant to coining, because I didn't get a single fucking piece of gold back from them fuckers. You know what I mean?
It's a joke. You know,
my entire fucking guard fleet needs refitting now and everything like that. You know, it's messed up everything, because I had, you know, good countermeasures, and you know, obviously I was running hopes and valiants and stuff like that, and you know, they just completely fucked my guard fleet. I didn't get a penny for it, you know. And to me, that's just a huge piss take of all the time that I put into building that fleet, you know, and redesigning my base and everything, and it's a joke. It really pissed me off. I did get close to quitting, you know. I was really annoyed with it. But I'll see it out, because if I go out, I'll have to spend my money first, and that'll go out on a base hitting rampage or something. You know what I mean? I'll spend it that way. You know?
Over the last couple of months, like I said, I've quit coining. I went out and bought a PlayStation 4 and some games the other week, and I've been playing that more than ever.
You'd be better off buying the games on your computer. They're cheaper than they normally are for a PlayStation. You know, you normally find the equivalent price between buying them on a PC and buying them on a PlayStation. It's cheaper. But anyway, we're sort of going off on another tangent on that one. But
we're talking about the PlayStation. I might not play mine, but I still like it.
Is there any game more expensive than Battle Pirate?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I've still got a PlayStation 3 in here, but I only use it to test DVDs, Blu-rays on. Sorry, for the customers. You know, if they ask for a Blu-ray, you know, I just use it as a test thing. That's about it. That's the only thing I use it for now.
Well,
okay. Sorry, I'm back from getting my beer, but go on, carry on. Snoopy, have you had a chance to talk about your the topic at hand?
Yeah, a little chat earlier about it, but I mean, money wise with me, I think it was really the event, Halloween event, was it, where they said, oh, it's purely optional, but we're going to give you this tech, and if you don't have it, like, basically you're not going to be able to do the raid properly. Mm-hmm. But it's optional. Well, it wasn't fucking optional. It was needed.
Yeah, that was the Gale 4 and then
my wallet just shut. That's it.
And your wife is short? Oh, your life is short. I thought you said your wife is short.
I just closed my wallet. I shut my wallet up. That was it. It was like, I'm not paying for it. It's just event after event after event after fucking event, and another event and another event. I mean, we're looking forward to February because they're only 28 days in it, so that's 28 days maximum events they can put in it, surely.
Well, at the moment, we've got the VXP raid and the FM raid, because the amount of points you need for the FM as well. You know what I mean? You might as well call it a fucking raid almost, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of pricey
no,
items in there.
I mean, basically, what we are. I mean, we're almost at this week. We're almost at a double raid week because all the point requirements required in the FM, topped off with this VXP event. It requires more time and/or coin than I think a lot of the raids would take. You know, the what we call the, what they call the, or they, whatever they call the raid. This is an activity, and that's an event. I forget what their wording is for it now, but yeah, it's it's an overload of, the same freaking targets too. That's the other problem I have with the whole thing is let's recycle this target again and make people hit it, a zillion times. It's that wasn't the way it used to be. We used to get different targets, so PvE was a little bit more engaging because there was a new target, something else to figure out. But now it's, once we get a couple of targets for a class, it's like we're seeing this for the next year for whatever. It's that part feels a little lazy on their side, while they're still asking for a lot of coins from us when they're not providing the content that they would historically.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent nothing this weekend so far because I'm just doing the FM, and I hit 3 million, put them in for a few air repair, come back, hit a few more again, and I've got everything I needed. I mean, the first things I took is what I needed to refit the eradicators, so I could keep them moving forward. And I've just picked up the tokens now as well. The tokens, got the usual crappy 2 and 1. But yeah, I've got what I needed. Now I just got to get. I think I need about another 7.5 million in the FM, which is easy to do,
Okay. And I want to ask Mike a question because Mike is purely a PvE player, but used to coin significantly more than you do now. And what changed your mind associated with that? You have an unusual playing style on top of it, so that could compound it. So you may not be the norm that Kixeye is looking for as far as this opinion, but what was, what changed your behavior as far as that? Are you there, Mike? Or are you thinking? I guess Mike's not there. So I'm sorry I spent all that time on Mike to not be there.
I have a question, guys. For how long? 5-6 months. I have after every event I have filled out the survey. Have you guys done that?
Sorry, I didn't understand that. Could you repeat it?
Have you filled out the survey?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's never pleasant.
No. Have you ever seen any response or any different in the game after you have been doing this?
Yeah, I think there must be one person that says they like something and they run with that, and like 99% of us said the opposite, and they said and then they go due to requests. This is what we've changed, and it was from that 1%. Because somebody said they liked something or they wanted something changed, and they went with that, didn't they? Rather than what the 99% of us said.
Yeah.
Because them surveys are a complete waste of time, aren't they? Really, it's like well, that's fucking like 2 minutes I'll never get back.
Back to
except for it's just your one opinion. There might be 5,000 people responding. So yeah. I mean, I'm willing to bet that your opinion is probably closer to what the average player is providing. I mean, it is weird that they ask us for our user ID.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Because then they can correlate spending habits and activities associated with our responses relative to our opinions on the particular raid or whatnot.
Yep.
So, Mike, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you hear that question? I asked you a long question earlier. Did you hear it?
Oh, no, I walked away.
Okay. you
I'm
were
sorry.
Okay. I was saying I'm going to make it shorter this time.
Okay.
But I know you're purely a PvE player, and you used to coin significantly more than you do now.
Yep.
And what was the big change in your behavior that restricted, strictly curtailed your coining in the game? I know you have an unusual playing style that probably feeds into that, but what was the change that happened to you as far as deciding whether to coin something or not?
Okay, I'll try and make this short. My goal was always to be able to do raids at the lowest possible cost of the raid that I could. So I put my efforts in the prep in front. Obviously, I'm not a good shipbuilder, so I'll get help. But I will buy tokens when they go on sale, like 30+% off. I would buy tokens. One time I bought, it was for the Buckies. I bought the $99 thing. I think that's the last big purchase I made. But when it started to get, okay, all that upfront money meant with my play style, which is picking a target apart, I was able to basically do raids for almost no coins at all. And usually they were just misclicks. Like the last raid, I spent 2 coins, and that was because I clicked wrong, and I got everything I needed. When it got to the point where you were paying to buy the tokens, get ready, be prepared, have the best possible thing I could put together, even with help, and then I still felt like there was no way to do it without spending additionally, I decided that was enough, and I watched very closely. The last time I put coin in the game was in November when they had that super sale, whatever that was. I can't even remember, but there was some super sale last November.
That was right, yeah.
And that's the last time I put any coin in the game. But that's basically it. I tried to do the spending up front in the preparatory stage, so that in the practice stage I was pretty much home free. And with my play style, which everybody knows, I think I go in and I just pick the target apart and quick repair, go back and do some more.
Mike, I've done a similar thing to you in the past. I said, I've bought the tokens, thought, okay, have the fleet ready for the raid, and you're good to go, and that's it. For the next 3 months or sometimes 4 months, that's it. You're golden, and you can work maybe on the second fleet or whatever. But because of all the refits they keep making us do on our initial fleet, it's like it didn't seem to me like it was value for money anymore. So I didn't buy them this time. I didn't get it. You know what I mean? It's like, I thought, nah, fuck it, not this time. I'll slow build it.
Yeah, I went back and looked at what I spent in 2017, and to be honest, I was embarrassed, and it wasn't anywhere near what I hear other people spending. And I said, I can't do that. And we're okay. It's not that I can't afford a little bit of $20-30 a month easily, but I just don't want to throw it away.
Yeah. And the strippers at the local establishment,
they're a better bargain. Much better.
Yeah, well, they were unhappy with you, and then that's really the truth that we're going to get at later.
Well, they were losing out because Kix was getting their tips. Yeah.
But it's whether you're seeing value for money. You know what I mean? For me, initially at the time, I thought, okay, it's nice to see value for money, because what I could do myself personally, if I had the fleet built, if I had that fleet built for the first raid, I could go out there, get what I needed quickly, and then I could go out and help, the rest of my alliance and do some prepping for them, the ones that weren't as far ahead. So, it could make me a useful, valuable player to help the other guys, but this time, nobody had done it. There's not a single player in my alliance that bothered doing that. They really, we all played it the same way, It wasn't just me. In actual fact, a lot of other guys that that would have done the same thing didn't this time. I think, and it seems to be the consensus, not just across our alliance, but from what I'm seeing on here, the majority of people, we never got that fleet built and nobody coined it. And we know obviously a few people did, but I'm glad that the majority of people didn't, and they're not being sort of suckered into a path where they have to spend exceptional amounts of money,
yeah, but hey, isn't that few people the 1% they're targeting?
It is, yes. Yeah.
Obviously, after the last trade with the co-op target, they only want the 1%.
Yeah, that co-op target was nice. They should have had one in this raid.
Just think about Mike then. If he had fun playing the game and he like 10,000 other players enjoy the game and pay like $20-30 a month, that's a shitload of money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, it's a shitload of money when they have 100,000 players, but now they've managed to narrow it down to about 30,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They haven't got the player base that they've got to draw their income from is much less. That's why they're trying to rinse more out of those of us that have remained loyal and stayed here, which I can see why they're doing it, but it's not fair on us that have actually played the game and been loyal. You know what I mean? We don't deserve to be rewarded with higher costs for all the work we put in. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
except for
how much further are they going to be able to stretch this rubber band before it finally snaps?
Well, I mean, part of the thing is they've been very unfriendly to additional players entering the game, and that's one of the reasons I think that there's additional burden has been placed on the remaining players that keep on shrinking because there's no. There's no new blood coming into the game. It's a decreasing group because it's how are people you have talked about this on Discord, like how do you become relevant in this game, and they seem to have thrown that away a while ago. That they were talking about that a while ago, but I don't see that in any of the actions that they're doing, because right now if you take a look at it's this VXP extravaganza that's going on right now, this can, this is only for the highest end of players as far as this event. This assumes that you have all your fleets done, or you have a siege fleet that's completely done at this point.
Yeah, I don't get how many people are going to need to do this, because like most people that are high level will already have most of their fleets built and ranked anyway, that the tokens are for.
That's why they made it an event instead of just a normal VXP weekend.
I mean, I haven't seen any new players coming in. I mean, we've had a few players that have joined us over the past couple of months that have been returning players. Yeah, fortunately, they had a reasonable grasp of the game. They just needed a quick sort of refresher to get them back up to stuff, and maybe a little bit of help. But they're returning players rather than new blood. You know what I mean? There's no one new coming in from scratch. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it anyway.
I did see where there were a bunch of little low-level bases that popped up, but none of them stayed. None of them grew.
Saw a level 4 start today. I was helping him out a little bit. I was like, whoa, but I don't trust it. I mean, I gave him a couple pointers and I helped him out open some cargo, but I don't believe it's a true level 4. I believe it's like a fucking alt.
Yeah, it takes them all day to like empty the cargoes.
Yeah, that's why I opened like 3. I'm like, have fun. I'll see you later.
Yeah. And I used to go and open like 10 cargoes and realize they can't shift them. Then they're going at it for hours, like,
Yeah, he was complaining about a 40 and I was laughing. I'm like, yeah, wait till you hit the 75.
But that's it. I mean, as I said, if they want to get players in now, they've got to start them in there with a lot of basic fleets that you would need at the lowest level, right? The lowest level fleet that you could have for every chore that you need to do. You've got to start them to hit the ground running. It's as simple as that, because otherwise, no one's going to stay.
Well, we just need to get them actually into the game. So what they could simply do You know, they've got to do the research tech. We all had to do the research tech. So fucking in the FM every goddamn week, just put a target, a level 10 FM target that can only be hit by research tech.
Yep.
Well, I don't even care about them having to do that now. I mean, we did that years ago. You know,
it's a good
we
idea.
Just need new blood in the game, so just fucking let them get
what
in.
I'm saying is, they've got to be able to engage something other than a cargo.
Yeah, and give that
all
10
they can hit is a cargo. They're going to walk away from the game because what fun is that? There's nobody else for them to hit. They can't hit each other yet. There's not enough players that are new for them to hit. So we got to get them engaged somehow. So if you threw a couple of targets out there that were designed to be hit by that tech that they're researching, that would actually give them a small goalpost. You know, they build up their tech to where they can kill the target. You see what I'm saying? And then boom, now they're starting to get engaged in the game.
Yeah.
Give it like 4,000 or 5,000 points for that kill, but only those lower people can use the tech to get that thing. And then they got some points, and now they can get like everything from tier 1.
Yeah, and then I think there's something that, you know, there's another part of this that I think everybody has a wide range of experience with, is with the returning players that have been, you know, Bama said he's been gone for, you know, he came back a year ago after a 2-year break. But there's, that's Serpent Soul, and then Bama was like, he returned 2 years ago after a 5-year break. And then there's people returning to the game right now, but everybody got those bat rays. And if you return to the game and you got those bat rays, that build sucked. I mean, that's the, you know, it's a leg up, but you're still not performing well. And if you've been gone for 2 years, you don't have the tech to make it decent. You know, that's one of the other things that I think that, you know, if they're making these offers to players that have been gone for a while, at least make it something that's reasonable. You know, something that's not going to, you know, it's not going to turn the world on fire, but at least something that's makes sense.
Make the lower level tech much easier to get hold of, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's it.
Well, they just put a random. Yeah. They put that it was a high level limited special they put on them, but it didn't belong on that Hydrotac module. I mean, it didn't belong on that ship at all, and they just put it on there and supposed to Advanced Concussive 2, and you know, now you had, you know, as opposed to a ship doing, was it 15 million or 1.5 million? I forget.
1.5.
It was basically between a third and a half of the damage that a decent build would put together. And so these ships were getting owned. And so those players are like, okay, fuck this. It's still broken. So I don't know. I mean, there's just different things I think that they can do as far as injecting new blood into the game, if that's what they.
That was a whole goof, though. That whole thing was like a goof. And you know, even if you got the ship, you could have did like a 1-day refit and added one more armor and changed out and put payloader on it.
No, it wasn't what I'm saying. It was a goof for existing players. But that was what was going out to as an offer to bring players back. I'm just saying that we have all seen that build and we understand it at this point.
Yeah, the new players wouldn't have the stuff to refit it with. That's
right.
That's the problem. Like a returning player wouldn't have.
Well, they have that armor because
it can't refit.
Just use that evade armor, but longer. And they could have got payload 1 in the FM. Payload 1 in the FM, and then there you go, boom.
Providing they've got a fleet to do the FM with.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know. I agree with you. I'm just saying there are ways around it.
I don't think Kixeye has any interest in bringing anybody new in. I really don't. I don't see anything at all in what they are designing, developing, or saying that says they're trying to bring in new blood.
Okay, back in 5, guys. I've got to go and help the missus. She needs my help for 1 second. Right.
Okay. Oh,
I mean, if anybody on this panel sees something that I don't, speak up. What is it? Because it would interest me, but I really don't see Kixeye doing anything at all to try and bring new blood into.
No, I agree with you. I mean, we've had this conversation a bunch of times, but I was just talking about whatever was going on at that moment in time. But I agree with what you're saying. It doesn't seem like there's a constant flow or even any flow really of true new players.
All right.
You can say tinfoil hat, but from what I'm seeing, It looks like Wrong Thinker is a game closer.
Maybe.
You know, where he's brought in to shut the game down.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, he's definitely a game milker. I will say that.
Yeah, it would be an interesting thing to have on your resume, but yeah.
First I did War Commander, then I did Battle Pirate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, walking in, just like an odd thing to, oh, okay, that's going to do this, oh, I've ended this game and ended that game. It'd just be an odd thing for somebody to put on their resume. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you could be right. I could be wrong. I'm just saying, I don't know. It just seemed,
No, because see, I think you're looking at it exactly the wrong way. They send him. I really believe they said that we're coming towards the end. They've sent him in not because he knows how to shut the game down, but because he's the idea guy that can go in there and bounce stuff at the community and milk the most coins out of the players that are left. And he's been proving that. I mean, look at all the money they got for people chasing a stupid ball cap. We all saw it in the leaderboards. We know there was a lot of money spent. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a stupid ball cap. This guy knows what he's doing. He's smart. You know what I mean? He could put this is something he can be proud of to put on his resume. You know what I mean? Because he does. He goes into the game. He did it at War Commander. He's doing it here. He goes into the game and he beefs that sucker up and he starts pulling that cash. And there's a lot of players that are spending it. I'm not going to deny it. I've chased some monkeys, but there's a lot of players out there. Just watch the leaderboards and you can see it.
Okay. I'm going to show in a second, even though the last two, because I'm on Hangout, YouTube, and whatnot. Sure I don't close any of the wrong things. I'm just going to screen share what I was talking about earlier, where I hadn't repaired anything, and I lagged into, I was trying to, but, like I said earlier, I was on Hangouts, YouTube, and playing the game. So I lagged into two of the targets. So there's damage on my other ships. Those were already skulled beforehand. But this is what I was able to. This is what I was able to get.
That's good.
Without repairing my brutal. It only has one armor on it. It has 2 guns, and has an engine, siege battery, and then the CL. So with one outing, again, this is extra damage, but I was able to get 58,000 on just the one, using one crew, and just using the technique that I described earlier.
It's awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
So it's not all the way there, but
How many times did you have to do that, FA?
I don't know. I was on the show, but I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
So like an hour or two.
No, not that long. Not that.
So,
yeah.
45 minutes to an hour.
Over an hour, but I probably could have done it quicker, but I've been doing the show the whole time.
Yeah, but that's
so
still
this
really
is what I was
good.
doing while I was on the show, of just hitting one target and then getting everybody out of range, except for when I lagged into something. And so it's not impossible to do this without any coins, because that's all that is concentrated on one ship. It's not on 5 ships, even though I showed damage because of
the lag,
what I was explaining earlier. But just so you know, it's
my experience
possible.
was the same.
Well, you've only really got to repair the flag, haven't you? And then just send it back in again.
Oh yeah, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't been running the show at the same time, I probably, I've only gotten damage on the flag. But I think I ran into some either bandwidth or memory usage, things. So
yeah, that's it. The others don't matter, do they? Anyway, So all you got to do is repair that flag, and then send it back in again. Yeah. So.
So yeah, and like I said, it only has one armor on it, so it wasn't, it's not a full build. It's got 2 cannons on it. It only needed 1, so it's not awful. And if you do have multiple ships to rank up, split them up and hit each individual target with 1 ship each. Don't try and hit them all at once with 1 stacked group of ships, because you're going to get random things because they all die with 1 hit. So yeah. So I don't know. Do we have much else to talk about, or have we talked ourselves out on these topics?
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
I'm just hitting 80s with prototypes.
All right, let me see. I can click the link in case anybody would like to join the after show. And sorry if I was distracted. I was trying to get this done because my brutal was building until like an hour before the show, so I didn't actually start any of this until the show. So hope that's helpful, and I hope I explained that well. It's hitting the 98s, 1 ship per encounter. So it should let you get it done, because you need 125, so you just need to basically do this twice. So alrighty, gentlemen. Anybody have any parting words or anything like that?
Well, from what I've heard, the Hydras is doing okay in the 98s.
I thought they were okay. You can get them in the 98s, can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried because they're.
I'm going to shoot you, man. You know now in an hour that's going to be changed.
Sorry, man.
I just wanted to look at the targets as far as you're talking about, as far as completing them. I'm just trying to figure out if they're. For some reason, when I look at them, I thought that they were excluded, or is it just? Let's see. There's a 98 Siege Battleground, and I look above it, and oh, come on. My game gets laggy when I'm on the. Wait! I swear earlier that this was, or is it the other ones that are limited? Oh, it just doesn't let. I'm sorry. Yeah, it just doesn't let conquerors in. That's what it does. Yeah, you can't get conquerors in these ones. Yep. Okay, sorry about that. So, all right, Hydras do well.
Yeah.
Are these the refitted Hydras with the Raptor launcher?
Where is she? I'll just ask if she's still. Hang on, let's minimize.
But unless you're doing it for ships that aren't built yet, I don't understand the reason to even really deal with the event, because with the holding capacity of the tokens, the requirements to get the tokens, it's only for ships that you don't own, because it'd be easier to hit another target as opposed to earning these points. They all seem to be they seem to overvalue them.
No. You got to get the crew chests.
Yeah, you need all of those.
Yeah.
2 billion points for crews, to roll crews, random crews.
Okay. Alrighty. BAMSF, which ship did you send in? Are you talking to us, or I don't know?
So I'm not getting a reply from her because unfortunately her base is getting hit at the moment. So.
Okay.
I tried.
All right. Well, I'm going to post the link one last time. Feel free to join us, and see y'all on Wednesday. And good luck in the event. Later, people.
Night.
Good night. Good night.
Later.
Good night.
Stay safe.
I've done